Hi, I'm Michael Prinzing, and I'd like to share with you some work that my co-authors and I just published on the question of what makes life meaningful. Philosophers have given basically three kinds of answers to this question. Subjectivists think that meaningfulness comes from mental states, feeling gripped and engaged, loving what you do, or in a word, feeling fulfilled. Objectivists think that meaning doesn't come from how you feel, it comes from what you do with your life, and you have to do something that has value that goes beyond yourself. There are others who think that you need to have both. Meaning comes from passionate engagement with activities that have that kind of subject-independent value. But what do most people think? How do people normally answer the question of what makes life meaningful? To investigate this, we conducted 6 vignette experiments. Participants read a short story about a person's life and then rated how meaningful they considered the life to be. In the first pair of studies, we contrasted fulfillment with contribution. In the fulfilled conditions, the agents were described as loving what they do, feeling engaged with life and fulfilled, and in the unfulfilled conditions, they were described as lacking these states. In the high contribution conditions, the agents were described as having high impact activities, coaching sports or playing cello for adoring audiences, whereas in the low contribution conditions, they had minimal impact, watching sports or playing cello in the garage. We found main effects of both fulfillment and contribution. This suggests that according to lay people, each contributes to meaning in life, which contradicts the 3 philosophical theories just described. Those theories posit exclusive roles for one or the other, and/or require the presence of both factors. But now we might start to wonder about boundary conditions. So for instance, the agents in the low contribution conditions, while they didn't make a big difference in the world, their activities were sensible, right? So even if you don't care about sports or the cello, you can recognize these as worthwhile things to spend your time on. So maybe fulfillment only adds to the meaning in your life when it comes from something sensible. In the next pair of studies, we crossed fulfillment with sensibility. So the sensible activities included updating old dictionary entries and painting local buildings. Senseless activities included repeatedly hand copying the dictionary and counting the bricks in local buildings. In the first study, we again found an effect of fulfillment but no effect of sensibility. Then in our second study, we found, with a larger sample and wider variety of vignettes, an effect of sensibility that was considerably smaller than the effect of fulfillment. So these results seem to indicate that fulfillment is thought to add meaning to one's life, even if it's derived from activities that seem silly or pointless. Participants seem to be thinking something like, you know what, this person's found something they love. It's bizarre, but it's not hurting anyone, so it can be meaningful. That last qualification, though, seems important, right? It seems strange to think that, punching strangers or something else that was bad could make your life meaningful just because you found it fulfilling. In the final pair of studies, we crossed fulfillment with morality. Morally good activities included giving to charity and working with the homeless, whereas morally bad activities included giving to terrorist organizations and harassing homeless people. We found main effects again of fulfillment, but also of morality. The effect of morality was massive, so much so that only a minority of participants in the fulfilled bad conditions considered the agent's life meaningful. So it seems that most people think moral goodness is sufficient for a meaningful life, even if it's an unfulfilling life, but fulfillment is not sufficient to make an immoral life meaningful. That being said, there was no interaction. So the effect of fulfillment did not depend on the agent's morality. It's more meaningful to be fulfilled by evil than to be unfulfilled by evil. To conclude, what, according to the ordinary concept, makes a life meaningful? Well, we found that there were main effects of fulfillment, contribution, sensibility, and morality, which seems to contradict the predominant philosophical theories of meaning in life, and in fact seems to suggest that lay people hold what we might call the independent additive theory of meaning in life. Fulfillment, as we found, had a positive effect on assessments of meaning, regardless of contribution, sensibility, and morality. Meanwhile, contribution, sensibility, and morality had positive effects regardless of fulfillment. So the subjective and objective factors each seem to have independent and additive effects on assessments of meaning in life. Of course, there may be many more such factors, but the evidence from these 6 experiments suggests that lay people hold a theory of meaning in life that emphasizes the role of a variety of these independent factors. Given the contrast between this lay theory and the predominant philosophical theories of meaning in life, we suggest that greater attention might be paid to the philosophical merits of this theory. Before ending, let me thank my co-authors, Julian DeFreitas and Barbara Fredrickson, and thank you for watching.